You were not running out of time. You were wasting the time you already have on things that never mattered. Every day you give pieces of your life to people who never asked. Every hour leaks into noise, screens, worry, and meaningless reaction. 2,000 years ago, a Roman statesman saw this exact pattern. His name was Seneca. What he wrote will change how you live. You wake up and immediately reach for your phone. You scroll before your mind is even fully awake. Your day begins owned by others. You sit in meetings that drain you. You answer messages that do not matter. Hours vanish without leaving a single trace behind. You promise yourself the real living starts later, after this project, after this season, after the weekend finally arrives. But later never comes. Time keeps moving forward while you keep postponing your own life into some imagined future moment. You lose evenings to anxiety about tomorrow. You lose mornings replaying yesterday. The present somehow becomes the only thing missing. You feel exhausted but cannot point to what consumed you. The hours were spent. Nothing valuable came from any of them. This is the pattern Seneca watched destroy great men. He wrote one letter that exposed it completely. We still read it today. His letter was called On the Shortness of Life, but the title is misleading. Seneca believed life is actually long enough. Long enough for greatness. Long enough for peace. Long enough for everything that truly matters to be done well and lived fully. The problem is not the length of life. The problem is what you do with the life you have already been given. But the Stoics took this insight even further than most people realize. Seneca discovered something modern teachers still ignore. He noticed that people guard their money with obsession. They guard their property with locks and contracts and walls. Yet the same people give their time away freely, to anyone who asks, to anything that interrupts, without resistance or thought. Seneca called this the great human contradiction. The one thing you cannot replace is the one thing you defend the least. You can earn money back. You can rebuild what burned down. You cannot recover a single hour that has already passed away. This was the Stoic insight that changed everything. Time is not currency. Time is the actual substance of your living life. When someone takes your hour, they take a piece of your life, not a resource, not minutes. They take you yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this exact pattern in his private journal. He reminded himself daily that life is shorter than imagined. He ruled the largest empire on earth, yet he wrote that no power, no army, no title buys back one wasted afternoon. Epictetus, born a slave, understood this even more deeply than emperors. He had nothing, so his time became sacred to him. He taught that the free person is not the one with money. The free person is the one who owns their own hours. This is the part most modern people never realize. You are not poor in time. You are reckless with the time you have. Now imagine applying this single Stoic truth starting tomorrow morning. The shift in how you move through the day is immediate. Seneca named the core practice clearly. He told his friend Lucilius to begin auditing every hour like a strict accountant. Where did your morning go? Who took your afternoon? What thoughts stole your evening? Track it like guarding a treasure. Not to feel guilty. Not to punish yourself. Only to see clearly where your one irreplaceable resource is actually flowing each day. The Stoic concept connects to what they called the dichotomy of control. You cannot control how long you live overall, but you can fully control how present you are inside each hour. Presence is the only real ownership of time. When you apply this, something quiet shifts inside you. You stop chasing time. You start inhabiting it, fully and deliberately. The mental shift is the first thing you will feel. Your hours stop feeling like things happening to you randomly. The emotional shift comes next. You feel less rushed, less anxious about the future, less haunted by everything you have missed. The identity shift comes last. You stop being someone time happens to. You become someone who actually lives their own hours. Here's the practical method Seneca would prescribe to you directly. It takes only 10 minutes a day to begin. In the morning, before opening your phone, write down 3 hours that belong to you today. Protect them like sacred ground. These 3 hours are not for others, not for noise, not for reaction. They are for your real life, your work. During the day, notice every time someone reaches for one of these hours. Pause. Ask if surrendering it is truly worth it. In the evening, sit quietly for 2 minutes. Ask one question. Where did the time go? Be honest about the answer. Do this for 7 days. You will see the pattern. You will see exactly who and what has been stealing your life. Comment below which moment of your day disappears the fastest. Mornings, afternoons, or evenings. Share your biggest time leak. If this is hitting something true inside you, drop one single word in the comments. Just write the word present. This small act builds a community of people choosing time differently. Now return with me to what Seneca revealed next. Most people resist this practice without knowing why. They feel uncomfortable looking honestly at where their hours actually went. Because tracking your time reveals an uncomfortable truth. Most of your suffering is not from lack of time, it is misuse. Traditional advice tells you to manage time better, to optimize, to squeeze more output from each crowded hour of your day. The Stoics rejected this completely. They did not want more done. They wanted less wasted on what never deserved you. This is why hustle culture leaves you empty. It fills your hours with motion. It never asks if the motion matters. Seneca would say the busy person and the wise person look identical from outside. Inside, they live entirely different lives. Picture yourself at work tomorrow. A colleague pulls you into a meeting that should have been one short message instead. The old you sits silently and loses the hour. The stoic you politely protects the time. Because time is your life. Picture yourself in a relationship argument. The old you replays it for 3 days in your mind, losing sleep and peace. The stoic you handles it in the present moment, then releases it, because tomorrow does not deserve yesterday's borrowed pain. Picture yourself lying awake at 3 in the morning. The old you spirals through anxious thoughts about everything uncertain ahead. The stoic you breathes once, returns to this hour, because this hour is the only hour you actually own right now. Picture yourself losing an entire afternoon to scrolling. The old you feels guilty but repeats it again the very next day. The stoic you closes the screen, stands up, reclaims 1 hour, because 1 hour reclaimed becomes a new direction entirely. There's a deeper stoic secret hidden inside Seneca's letter. Most readers miss it, but it transforms everything when seen. Seneca wrote that the moment you truly value time, you stop fearing death. The two fears are actually the same fear. When you waste your days, death feels terrifying because you sense you have not yet lived. You have only been busy. When you live each hour fully, death loses much of its power because nothing essential remains undone inside your soul. This is the Stoic mental fortress they called the inner citadel, built not from walls or armor or resistance to others, built from one quiet decision, to stop giving your hours to anything unworthy, to make the present moment your home. You cannot get more time. You can only get more presence inside the time you already have remaining to you. You cannot slow the clock. You can only stop running from the hour you are standing inside right now, this moment. The Stoics knew this truth completely. Your life is not somewhere ahead. Your life is here, inside this paragraph, this breath. Tonight, before you sleep, take a single sheet of paper, write down 1 hour today that you gave to something unworthy. Tomorrow morning, write down 3 hours you will protect with everything you have. Then live those 3 hours fully present. Do this for 7 nights. By the 7th night, you will see your life differently. Time will feel like yours again. This is not a productivity trick. This is the Stoic practice that turned Roman senators into philosophers and slaves into legends. If this reached something real inside you, leave one word below. Tell me which hour of your day you reclaim first. Subscribe to this channel for more ancient practices applied to modern life. We walk this path together, one Stoic truth at a time. Remember what Seneca said as you close your eyes tonight. It is not that we have a short time to live. It is that we waste much of it on things that never mattered. Your life is long enough if you finally live it. The unbreakable mind is not built from more hours. It is built from finally owning the ones you already have. Tonight, write down 1 hour you gave to something unworthy today. Tomorrow morning, before touching your phone, write down 3 hours you will protect as sacred. Live those 3 hours fully present, refusing to surrender them to noise or reaction. Repeat this practice for 7 nights and observe how your relationship with time transforms completely.